uncovers a golden nugget that Brennan, Clapper, and Comey buried below the swamp, by US4Trump.com. Here's a story about America's watchdog, Tom Fitton, who is the president of Judicial Watch. Moreover, his goal is to make documents public, which the government will sometimes try to hide from the American people, and he uncovered the golden nugget today. He works on many investigations. However, this one is for the Fisa warrant documents. The American people want to know if the Fisa warrants, which started the Mueller probe from the Clinton DNC dossier, are legit. And guess what? The Fisa applications are here. Tom scored the Fisa documents for the American people. Specifically, what will the Fisa documents reveal? Moreover, will they be heavily redacted? These questions and more are now answered. Also, the 412 pages of the Fisa documents were delivered via Federal Express just hours ago. Okay, we don't need that. Tom tweets the news about the golden nugget. Carter Page, Fisa docs show the FBI, DOJ misled the courts in getting spy warrants on Donald Trump. Let's, Carter Page, Fisa docs. We'll take a little bit of a listen here.
Records on the Fisa court warrants that were issued against Carter Page corruptly. You may recall Devin Nunes' Intelligence Committee exposed and blew the whistle on those Fisa warrants because they're at their heart. At their heart was the Clinton DNC dossier created by Fusion GPS, a paid vendor of the Clinton campaign and Democratic National Committee, who laundered money through the law firm Perkins Coie, paid Fusion GPS, who worked with Russian intelligence and Lord knows who else. They laundered that document into the Justice Department and the FBI, in part through Bruce Orr, whose wife worked at Fusion GPS, a vendor for the Clinton campaign. And they went to the Fisa court and they said, oh, we've got all this reason to investigate Carter Page. All this reason was the Clinton DNC dossier, because it was clear, according to the Intelligence Committee analysis, that there would have been no Fisa application that would have been approved by the court but for the Clinton DNC dossier. Mm-hmm. And the court was never told about its origins, which would have called into question whether there was a legitimate basis for the warrant. So
the only thing that I have a problem with, that I stated before in the previous video, is that the court was misled. But notice that there was no, the judge didn't file any charges against them for misleading the judge, him. You know, Contreras, I think that was his name. He recused himself, stepped down. I don't really remember, but he didn't file any charges against them misleading him, and he was an Obama appointee. You see, so the judge basically, in my gut feeling, I think that the judge knew. That's why he stepped down. Do you see what I'm saying? Because he knew eventually that these documents would have come out.
This corrupted spy operation, again, the Peter Strzok spy operation, Comey, McCabe, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, that whole gang, John Brennan, Susan Rice, all involved in the use of this Clinton DNC dossier, and yes, President Obama.
Yeah.
So Judicial Watch asked for these records last year, and it's 1 year almost to the day, and they're due to us today. Now, I expect they'll be redacted. I don't know how much will be there. But it's good to see this.
He got the documents. I just put up the video. He did get the documents, and they were very heavily redacted, but it does show that Obama, that Obama was involved in this. And as we said in previous videos, without Obama, giving the go-ahead. See, I know Hillary basically said to Obama, get this thing going. But without Obama's approval, Brennan and Clapper and them and Susan Rice, they couldn't carry out this without Obama's okay. So Obama is very much implicated in this.
Falling a cover-up or beginning and end. And these are documents that I don't know if even Congress has had access to fully.
We don't know.
Congress is going to be very interested in this.
But again, Congress is going to be interested in this, okay. But then we're going to go back to the IT guys that have a lot of dirt on Congress by Imran Awan. And why did, first of all, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, right, hired that IT worker. Clinton's behind that. And without any kind of question as to, if they passed a security clearance of any kind. The Congress just allowed it. They have a lot of dirt on Congress. So what Fitton is saying, yes, I think Fitton knows that Congress is being, how do you say, I don't want to say that, they're compromised because of Imran Awan, you see? They have a lot of dirt on Congress, and you know what kind of probably what kind of dirt is on them that is very damaging to their reputation that I'm not going to go into.
It shows you why it's important to be in court and why it's important to have an independent entity like Judicial Watch pursuing these records in court.
Correct. Yes.
We're pursuing these records.
Yes.
About the Fisa warrant abuses. We're pursuing these records about, for instance, CIA Director John Brennan's leak to Democrats in the Senate to get the Clinton dossier, which supposedly was classified, into the public record. We're suing for records on Podesta, the Podesta group.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think we have at least 34 federal FOIA lawsuits on this deep state conspiracy and illicit targeting of Donald Trump. And I just checked the other day, my colleagues checked in with me, Chris Farrell, who's our Director of Investigations. He told me we have 201 Freedom of Information Act requests pending on this scam. Congress isn't doing that, and you can bet the media isn't doing that, but we're doing it. So,
and why wouldn't Congress do it? Again, we're going to get back. They're compromised. You get it? The IT worker, Imran Awan, has compromising info on them, and Hillary said, you start asking too many questions, you're going to be exposed for your how do you say it in a different way? They're you know what they watch on the computers, you know what I'm saying? The FISA court was misled. Okay, what does it mean? Specifically, it means the FISA court was never told about the origins of the dossier, Tom says. Since the FISA court was misled about the origins of the dossier, then the warrant should have never have been issued to spy on Carter Page, whom, by the way, has been charged with absolutely nothing. Going back to what I said, Carter Page was a plant. I will stick by my gut feeling. He was a plant. Okay, so Carter Page was never charged with nothing either. Okay. Anyway, I may be wrong, I may be right. Let's just move on. What is the bottom line to the whole rotten gig that Clapper, Brennan, and Comey perpetrated on the American people? That our greatest law enforcement institutions during the Obama era were used to spy on an American presidential campaign, specifically to spy on the Trump campaign. This is Banana Republic stuff, folks. It is truly sad to see America degenerated to that level of corruption, every patriot should be outraged at the Obama-era branches of government. Yeah, but the liberals are not. They're going to say this is a made-up story, but that's besides the point. Fitton explains, the Clinton DNC dossier was used to justify, in a dishonest way, to the Fisa courts, but the judge knew that he just didn't want to be. That's why they put it at the back of the paper, so the judge didn't see it. But the judge recused himself because the water was starting to boil, at that time. So he says, "Let me get out of here before I'm implicated in this." So because he didn't even file anything against them. So Tom continues. Remember, no Clinton DNC dossier. No FISA warrants, frankly, no Clinton DNC dossier, no special counsel. So the corruption of the FISA court processes have now been exposed. Additionally, Tom says, in his witty style to a rather serious subject, so why do we need Mueller special counsel? His job is done. Thank you, Mr. Mueller. Mueller can go home now and stop costing the taxpayers any more millions than he's already cost us. You see, yeah, it's not the money only. How about the division in the country? It's worse. The division is much worse than the money that's involved, like 20 million, So, furthermore, Dan Bongino, former Secret Service agent, tweets this nugget on the release of the FISA applications. So now we know the Russian collusion fairy tale was a hoax from the beginning. What a disgrace. Absolutely. DOJ releases Carter Page FISA application here. So, in ending, watch as Fitton and Bongino discuss the acquisition of the FISA application as they await for them to arrive via Federal Express. I guess this is before they got them. We'll watch a little bit of this.
They had to meet a Friday deadline. They could have emailed you the PDF documents of what they have. Instead, they've chosen another path. What is it?
Yeah, we asked where they were, and we were told by lawyers for the FBI they FedExed them to us. So
they're in the mail
on Monday.
So they're in the mail.
Let's go forward.
Darkest moments in our nation's history with the zero tolerance
right here.
Good morning. Some quick headlines for you. Iran preparing to launch a massive cyber attack on the U.S. and its allies, NBC News reports. The attack could target infrastructure and healthcare and technology companies. Experts say nothing is imminent, but precautions are being taken. In a Putin-backed plan for a Ukraine referendum rejected by the White House, Russia's ambassador to the United States claiming President Trump and Putin discussed the proposal, but was quickly rebuked. The four-year conflict with Russia-backed separatists has killed more than 10,000 people.
It just might be, dusting off the old campaign speeches for 2020.
Right? That sounds like a campaign speech.
Sure looks like it. Well, let's bring in Dan Bongino, former NYPD officer, former Secret Service agent, and the host of the Dan Bongino Show. Okay, Dan. Darkest moments in our nation's history with the zero tolerance policy from Joe Biden.
Pete, what's really incredible about the speech, the spine on this guy to do this, is that this policy was in effect during the Biden and Obama years and was enforced even more grotesquely, to use his words. He starts that thing off by talking about a series of grotesque lies, and then doubly ironic goes on to lie about what the policy is. This is infuriating me because they just cannot be honest about it. This was a Flores consent decree, a court decree, which mandated we could not hold these children for more than 10 days. It's been in effect way before Donald Trump came into office. And even worse, Pete, Donald Trump signed an executive order asking his DOJ to challenge that policy. And it's the courts that said, hey, we can't. The policy's been in effect for a while.
Dan, let me jump in, because I was saying earlier in the show, I was in McAllen, Texas. That was the center created in 2014 because of the response to the surge coming across the border.
This is not the subject.
And it certainly isn't an electoral win. The American public has absolutely zero interest in a policy like that. He may be catering right now, Griff, Biden, but for his presidential run that I'm sure he's going to do, he's going to engage in, to his radical base for donors, support, volunteers, whatever.
Is that it looks like he is really gearing up for that run in 2020. On another note, though, another story that is making the rounds, Michael Cohen, of course, the former attorney of President Trump, apparently there is a recording out there of a phone call that he had back before the election in 2016, where they're talking about paying off a former Playboy model and a relationship that she had with President Trump is what she's claiming. How serious is this, Dan?
Well, it's serious, Abby, but for all the wrong reasons. It's serious because Bob Mueller is the most powerful and dangerous person in America to the constitutional republic right now. Bob Mueller, I cannot be clearer on this. I've been researching this case now for 7 months. Bob Mueller is investigating Donald Trump. He is not investigating a crime. Unless this Playboy model is a czarina of Russia, Bob Mueller is clearly way off the rails from the intention of this investigation, which, by the way, if Russian collusion in American elections, Russian interference, great. Collusion, that's a nonsensical narrative. This will not move the needle on Donald Trump, though, one bit, because the most damaging political narratives are the ones that change some pre-existing notion. Donald Trump's been honest about who he is. This is not going to move the needle on him one bit, but it will move the needle on Bob Mueller as people realize what a witch hunt this is.
It is sort of crazy, though, that Michael Cohen would record it, right? Because isn't he the lawyer of all people you feel like you can trust in these moments? It would be your lawyer. So it does make you wonder what was going on and if he felt like he was going to have to use this recording at some point.
Well, at a minimum, I agree with you. That was deeply unethical. Now, New York is a one-party consent state, which is, I never liked that law, but meaning if there's two parties on a phone, him and Donald Trump, and obviously Cohen consented, he taped it, it's legal. But again, is it legal yet? Is it ethical? Really? You're talking to your lawyer? And he's recording your conversations. What was he doing? And what else is out there with this guy recorded? Wow. I mean, if we all think about this, Abby. If we all had our personal conversations recorded, we'd all be a bit uncomfortable. I don't care if you're Mother Teresa.
Well, and Giuliani, the president's current lawyer, has said the recording actually exonerates the president, but we haven't heard it, and it remains to be seen. Another topic the president has talked a great deal about, of course, is the anthem kneelers in the NFL. Now, the NFL thought, or we all thought, maybe they'd kind of sort
the $40 million commission.
The chaotic political atmosphere, the problems in our lives. We wanted to sit down on Sunday and we could all agree as Americans, these people. And by the way,
this is not what we were watching for. We wanted to see what Dan Bongino. Sorry about that, folks. So now we know the Russian collusion fairy tale was a hoax. In ending watches, Fitton and Bongino discuss the acquisition of the Fisa application as they await for them to arrive via Federal Express. They already got them. So this is at 7:36 now. Let's see. But I just put up the video that they got them. But this was interesting too. Because we covered a lot of this topic too, and and I added on the other video that notice that once they got the information, Tom Fitton got the documents heavily redacted. There's an incident in Los Angeles now, and that's another. Why did this incident happen actually? At this point in time, at the same time Tom Fitton is receiving the documents, it sort of raises a couple of red flags, right? Doesn't it? Once Trump was supposed to meet with Putin in Helsinki, the Mueller indicts 12 Russians that'll never be held accountable. Now, this incident here, so in Los Angeles. So what does that tell you? That we're getting very close to the info being exposed, so to speak, put out there. And the deep state is working now overtime to detract from this conversation to go to another conversation. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.